All right. Thank you again for joining. And once again, my name is Colton Slater. I'm the president here at Property Panorama. And today we are doing a full system overview with the goal of really giving you a top level kind of overview of all that Property Panorama has to offer. And I know that you are from kind of all over the country with this webinar series. We do have some differences between our MLS integrations. So some things, features, benefits may be a little bit different from what you have, but for the most part, they are all going to be standardized across the board. The main difference would be between our subscription and site license markets. In our subscriptions, you may need to upgrade to some of the InstaView features. If your MLS has a site license with us, all of those may be provided at no cost to you. But to start things off, a little background on us. We've been around since 2002. We're the largest provider of virtual tours in the world. We do about 1 million unique visitors every week. And we're in a little over 275 MLSs and associations across the country. Of course, we are integrating all major vendors as well. And a big part of, how we have that audience in that market is our automation. So every part of the system that we like to make sure that we automate to make it as easy as possible for you and give you a seamless experience. And the first thing kind of in that area is the InstaView virtual tour. And this past year, we released InstaView version 5. It's our latest viewer. And again, everything is fully automated. So while we completely redid the viewer, the back end, kind of the concept behind it stays the same. And that is every time you have a new listing in the MLS, within an hour, we will automatically pull in all the property information and start creating a virtual tour. Now, we have two different tours that we create. We have a branded and unbranded virtual tour, depending on the MLS integration. But no matter what, you automatically have an unbranded tour for every listing, and that is automatically attached to your listing in the MLS. There are a few MLSs across the country where it's not automatic. But if you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out or throw a question in the Zoom window there. Some of the other products that are included, we have flyers, postcards, listing videos, and then we also have agent and listing landing pages for you through our digital portfolio. Some of the other features that we'll talk about, social media syndication, of course, statistics, lead capture, custom themes, audio, TurboText and QR codes, and everything's fully responsive, as you'll see here in a moment. So looking at that new viewer, I double clicked, I apologize. So looking at that viewer, on the left-hand side, we have the desktop version, and these are both branded samples. The only difference between branded and unbranded, of course, it's going to have the agent and office information. There are some additional tabs across the bottom that are included on the branded tour that are not on the unbranded version, just to make sure that your tours remain MLS compliant. And that's going to include like your video, the flyer, things that we create for you that automatically have your contact information on them. But looking at that desktop version, on the left-hand side, if you're looking at the branded version, we have contact. And on the right, we have details. Contact, again, just goes away on the MLS unbranded version of that tour. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have the mobile layout. And again, this is branded, but the same changes apply. But the main difference between the desktop and mobile is just the image layout. So you'll see on the phone there, it has a 3-image kind of scroll. And when you're using that on a phone, you, consumer, etc., can just swipe and slide through those images as they would in any photo library. Now, some of the tabs across the bottom in the desktop version or in the hamburger menu in the top left, the 3 bars on the mobile. The first one up, we have our Photos tab. This is our quick access panel. This is new with version 5, and it just gives a kind of more traditional library kind of view to those images. It'll also show the photo names, descriptions, anything about that photo whenever you select on an individual image. Of course, as has been included with all of the versions of InstaView, Google Maps is directly integrated, and consumers will get the full access to all the features they're used to, moving around the map, zooming in and out, switching the overlays, getting directions, etc. That's a full instance of Google Maps that they can work with. And if they're on the mobile device, they click directions, that's going to pop open right on their phone for them and use their Maps application. Next up, another new tab for us is additional media. This one's, I guess, not necessarily a new tab, but completely redesigned. So any additional content that you add will be attached right here. And the big benefit with this viewer is whenever you are adding additional content, you can embed it directly within the tour itself. So if you've got a drone video or a Matterport tour, something like that, you don't have to have it on this, text version of a tab. It can embed itself directly within the viewer, just like the photos do. And you can make those changes on the linking page within your account, and you'll see that here shortly. Next up, now this is a little bit different for branded and unbranded, but on the left-hand side is our contact tab. And again, this is on the branded version only, and it's going to generate a lead for you. So consumer, interested buyer will fill out those fields, click send, and that's going to send off to you, and you're going to get all the data that they input into those fields, what services they're interested in, etc. On the mobile version here is our share tab. Now, this is on the branded and unbranded version. The only difference is that on the unbranded version, it's not going to generate a lead, but for the consumer, it still works as they would expect it to. And that behavior is they can input their name, and then a friend, family member, client, etc., and they can share it directly with someone that they'd like to send it to. They also have the option to share it directly to their own social media sites across the top using those icons. That doesn't generate a lead, but it does kind of further your marketing for you automatically. Of course, anytime a consumer shares your listing on their own, Facebook, for example, more people are going to see that naturally without you really having to put any extra work there. So it takes care of your marketing for you. Next up, and a little bit less exciting, I guess, is the listing details. Again, this has been fully redesigned to match the new viewer, but it's going to pull in all of your property information from the MLS. And that's include the description, fields, etc., beds, bathrooms, square footage. And on the branded version of the tour, you do have the ability to adjust this. So if you want to adjust the description, you can do that directly within your account in your listing page for each listing. And I'll show you that shortly. The unbranded version of tour is always going to use what's pulled in from the MLS. And that's, again, just to maintain MLS compliance. So if you have any changes that need to be made on the unbranded virtual tour, if you make them on the MLS, they'll automatically apply themselves within the hour. And that's something that I didn't mention at the beginning, but is one of the biggest features of this system. So not only are we automatically creating your tours for you every hour, every time you have a new listing, but we update around the clock. So if you add more photos, change a price, adjust the description, so on and so forth, we will automatically reflect those changes every hour, 24/7. So you don't have to worry about it. An extension of that is if a listing sells or goes off market, we will automatically reflect those changes within the hour. So if it sells, goes off market, we will deactivate that tour for you. And for you, the agent, the benefit there is you don't have to worry about having any outdated material floating out, on the internet somewhere or on social media. If the listing comes back on market, that's going to automatically reactivate within that same hour. So again, all handled for you. Now that essentially wraps up the things I want to talk about on the tour. So we're going to move on to some of the other products. And the first up, and one of our most common features here, is the flyer section. And I did just see a chat come through. So you're gonna want to use the Q&A for the any questions. Time frame wise, typically it takes about 35 minutes, by the way, in this presentation. Sorry, I just saw that message now. It just popped in and kind of slid off to the side. But yeah, any questions you have, there is a Q&A section there on the Zoom dashboard for you. But on the flyers, so we've got around 2 or 3 dozen templates you can choose from, and you can set them in postcard or flyer layouts. On the flyer side, you'll see there's a number of different options, but you can choose the type, whether it's just listed, just sold, open house, price reductions, etc. Fully adjust the colors, the photos that are used, all that can be fully customized, including the descriptions. And then you can download those as a PDF or as a PNG. And the big benefit with the PNG specifically is for the postcard layouts. We have a lot of agents that like those postcards to use as social media graphics, or just sending out as flyers in emails. They are perfectly sized to post on Facebook, and it's just a lot easier to do that when they are a PNG in an image format. And I did see another question. Do we work with GSMLS? There are about 24 GSMLSs. So if you can put in the full name of the MLS, I want to make sure I answer the right question. My first one jumps out as Garden State, but I'm sure there are more. So I just want to make sure if you can verify which one. So moving on here into the digital portfolio. So Garden State, we are not in Garden State directly, but we do have the ability to create tours there if you reach out to our customer service. They're not automated, but you can still use the account, but we're not in Garden State at the moment. I did see another question about prices. So I will, if you give me 1 second, I'll kind of run through the InstaView prices for you and that breakdown how it works with different MLSs. The last thing here within the InstaView kind of framework I want to talk about first, though, is the digital portfolio. And this is your agent landing page, essentially. It stays up to date every hour, 24/7, just like the tours do. And it also provides listing landing pages. But to kind of look over one of these, so at the top, these are fully customizable. So colors, the background images, etc. Adding your custom branding, office logos. As you scroll down the page, if you have an active inventory, those are all going to be there. And they can click on those listings to get to these single property sites. And then down at the bottom is where you can add testimonials and about me. And then they're going to have the contact sections that's going to allow that to be a lead capture for you. Now, that essentially takes us through all of the kind of features of InstaView. And apart from pricing, the next question is usually how do these get created? And all you'll need to do is set yes to make sure the following options in your MLS. You may have some of these, not all, but internet display, IDX, and if you have an include InstaView virtual tour field, make sure that's set to yes, of course, as well. And then within an hour, we're automatically going to create those. Now, on the pricing side, we do have pricing that differs across the country. Our base pricing is $9.99 a month for unlimited listings. And that's for everything that we just covered in InstaView. Again, you may be in a site license MLS where there is no cost to you. It's provided by the MLS. And then we do have some integrations that are less, a few dollars below that $9.99 base rate. Annually, it is using the base pricing, $109.89. And depending on the MLS, that goes down to as low as around, I think, $79.99, just depending on the agreement with the MLS. But the best way to find that out, if you log into your account with us, you can do that depending on the MLS you're with. Flex, Products, Property Panorama, Matrix, you can go in through links. If you're with Navica, search external links, manage InstaView Tour. If you're a Navica MLS, I can tell you that all of the Navica MLSs are in the $9.99 pricing point. And then Paragon, ICE, Resources, Marketing, and then Rapatoni, we're right on the homepage. If you already have an agent website, can the property listing be integrated? So we do not do the IDX feed out specifically to those listings, but you can embed it directly within a page. So if you embed the link, you could embed right there and you could set the rules on that iframe to go to the listing section of the page. We have some agents that do embed our content just to kind of give that up-to-date listing inventory. And how do you create those? When you log into your account with us, if you're not already upgraded, you will need to be upgraded to access that. For the portfolio, the agent landing pages, you'll need to be on the monthly or annual flat rate subscription. There are a few other options on single per listing level. That doesn't include the portfolio. The per listing options start at $1.99 per month per listing, and that would give you just the branded virtual tour. And then we have a $4.99 per listing per month that gives you the tour, flyers, videos, everything about that property specifically. Um, it is, and the question is, it free with Flex MLS and Rapatoni? It is MLS specific, not platform specific. So we have site licenses in some Flex MLSs, some Rapatoni MLSs. All Jersey, the price point for All Jersey, I have to check on that actually. If you give me a few minutes, I will get back to you. I believe All Jersey does have a slightly discounted rate, but if you give me a moment, I'll find that out towards the end for you. But moving on, the next thing I want to talk about, and like I said, I'll get back to you as quickly as I can on that price point. But looking at the dashboard itself. So when you log into your account, this is what you're going to see first and foremost. Left-hand navigation is where we're going to access all the individual pages. We have our portfolio in the top left. That's our agent landing page, the storefront, and then all of our active inventory right below it. Down towards the bottom of the page, didn't mean to scroll, is where you're going to find social media settings. You can create a custom tour, or you can view account activity, recent transactions, and etc. Anything you have currently running with us. Moving down through the left-hand navigation, the account page. This is where you can kind of quickly and easily make any adjustments to your contact information. So phone number, website, biography, slogan. You can also add your testimonials here for that agent landing page. Moving a little bit further down in that left-hand navigation is settings and syndication. And this is a big one because it's where you can opt into social media syndication. So we have a few different ways you can share your listings on social media. This is our automated syndication. So if you have our monthly or annual subscription, you can opt in to have your tours automatically shared to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, or LinkedIn. You can also use our one-click syndication at any point in time from the linking page. But for the automatic route, this is where you'll opt in for that. And what that does is anytime you have a new listing, we will automatically share it to your specified social media account for you. On this page, you can also opt in or out of any of the notification emails, or you can manage the status of your account in general if you wanted to deactivate it or turn it back on, so on and so forth. And I guess I probably could have clicked while I was doing that to kind of give you those options popping up on your screen. I apologize. So the next place I want to show you is the linking page. And when you go to your inventory on that main dashboard page, right below it, you're going to see the options for tour manager, linking page, and the linking page is what we have right now. And looking at this is going to give you access to your tours and products for that specific listing. On the top left, we've got our virtual tour, and you have branded and unbranded links. This account is upgraded. If you're in a free version or a subscription model and you haven't paid for that service, it'll just have the unbranded tour and it won't have all of these options here. But to the right of that, we have our one-click syndication. You can click any of those icons and just right away share it out to that specific site. Below that, we have our flyers, where you can view the one that we automatically create, or if you click Create Manage below it, you can create unlimited additional flyers or postcards, download those, save them, share them, etc. To the right of that, we have Advertised Listing, where you can run ad campaigns, and I'll talk about that more later. And then we have our listing video, TurboTax codes, and then our additional media links at the bottom. Now, for the additional media links, this is what we talked about earlier, is where you can add any additional content that you have. So if you want to link your Facebook page or a drone video, Matterport tour, etc., you just add the link, give it a title, description, pick what icon you'd like applied to it, and then you can use the options to the right to just decide whether or not it's going to display itself embedded in the tour or just in the media links tab. Monmouth Ocean and Flex, I believe, is a subscription account, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, this is a Property Panorama webinar that is available to all of our MLSs. So we partner with All Jersey. Of course, we provide services, and you guys actually have a custom integration. And Monmouth being in All Jersey, yeah, that's a subscription model. You do have, I believe, like I said, discounted pricing. I'm just waiting to get back. I didn't want to pull that up and pull away from it. But yeah, this is through Property Panorama. We are doing a monthly two-part webinar series now every month to kind of keep all of our accounts up to date on new features, products, and the general overview. The next thing I want to talk about here is, excuse me, into the tour manager. And again, this is an option right below each of your listings on the dashboard. But the tour manager is where you can make changes to individual listings. We mentioned earlier on, you could change the descriptions on the branded tour and the flyer. You can do that here. And then after that, we have our photos page. This is where you can add or manage photos, adjust photo names, reorder them, etc. If you click add or manage, you can drag and drop to adjust these, pick which ones maybe you'd like to hide. And per our namesake, you can still create panoramic photos in here as well. If you take photos in order left to right in a room, for example, and do like a 15 to 20% overlap, you can have them stitched together. Now, I know that your phones, tablets, all for the most part can do that now. But if you're taking them with, say, a digital camera that doesn't have that option, if you kind of treat yourself like a tripod and take sequential images with a little overlap, we will stitch them together and create a panoramic image for you. The next thing you can do in here is adjust the theme. So in the theme in the left-hand navigation, you're going to see the one that has it's on this listing. And you click change, and you can pick the colors, the opacities, text colors, and you can fully customize these. I apologize for the shape that I'm kind of forced to use here for this because of the presentation, but you can customize every element of these viewers to match your branding. Another question that came in, is there a flat fee for each listing? So we have a flat account or agent level fee, which is the base level pricing, again, is $9.99. And that covers all of your listings. So one price, you don't have to worry about paying individually for each listing. If you want to pay per listing, and say you have 6 listings and you only wanted to upgrade one of them, you can do that for either $1.99 or $4.99 per month, depending on the feature sets you're looking for. But if you've got more than 1 or 2 listings, the monthly or annual flat rate, the $9.99 is going to be the way to go to save you the most money. And when you do go to the annual route, again, based on the base pricing, the $109.89, you're going to save an additional month on that yearly subscription. But the page we have in front of us now, this is our effects and audio. We've got 50 or 60 different audio tracks you can choose from. There's actually an update to this page out now as well. You can set the defaults, coming out now in here probably the next few weeks that we're working on to allow you to set listing level defaults or agent level defaults. So if you have one music track you want for all your properties, you'll be able to do that. Now, everything we've covered up until this point is for InstaView, and that is the virtual tours, flyers, videos, digital portfolio. But we do have additional services that you can add on. The first one, excuse me again, is Neighborhood Insights. And we partner with Local Logic to give this to you, and it includes local content and demographics. If you're familiar with any neighborhood data, you've probably seen similar concepts to this before. But on the local demographic side, that's going to give you income, employment, income brackets, population, age groups, owners versus renters, housing types and composition, education levels, traffic and commutes, mother tongue and spoken languages. And it's going to visualize all of that for you, or for the consumer rather, and it's going to automatically attach it to your tour. And the other side of this also includes local content, and it's all one product, but just kind of separated out into 2 sections. On the local content side, that's going to give you 18 location scores, 20 points of interest categories, school districts, education, amenities, character, nature, wellness. Wellness is going to be like your sports complexes, health food stores, gyms. Nature will give you like parks, monuments, etc. And again, the consumer here can move around on the map. They can get the walk scores, so on and so forth, and fully interact with it. And some of your MLSs probably have local logic integrated in some way, shape, or form. There is a difference between those two products. And the big difference for the most part is going to be who it's targeted at. A lot of those local content integrations are focused on the MLS backend and for the agent, for you to kind of interpret and use and promote on your own. This is 100% consumer facing. So whenever you add this on with us, it's going to be automatically attached to all of your listings for you and your digital portfolio. And it allows the consumers to interact with it. And what that does for you, of course, it gets more information out there about your listing, but it also keeps those buyers on your listings online longer. And as I'm sure you all know, the longer you can keep someone on that page, the better chance you have of generating a lead, generating more interest, etc. Now, the price points for this, we do have some bundles available, but the base rate price to add on Neighborhood Insights is $22 a month, or you can add it annually for $225. We do have bundle plans for our subscription markets as well, where you can add it on for this with InstaView, so the entire package for $25 a month or $250 for the year. So that is the much better deal when you're combining the two. It deeply discounts InstaView for you if you're adding them in. I will say you do not need the InstaView, the upgraded InstaView subscription to add on insights. If you're using the free version in a subscription account and you don't need the flyers, the videos, etc., but you do want the neighborhood data on all of your tours, you can add this on without having InstaView included. That being said, with the $3 a month difference, it typically just makes sense to add InstaView with it. And getting back to the question earlier on All Jersey MLS, I was right. There is a slight discount there. The All Jersey pricing is $8.99 per month. So you get $1 off with All Jersey. We have a little bit of a deeper integration with you guys. And the annual price is $98.89 for the year, and that's for InstaView. Now, the next add-on service I want to cover is Adtensify, and this is our digital advertising platform. And it allows you to, in short, promote yourself and your listings across the most popular websites and social media. So I'm sure a lot of you have run ad campaigns online before, but the main purpose of them is to drive more traffic and exposure to you and your listings. And that's going to generate listing and brand recognition. Now, some of the things that separate our ad platform from others is we kind of remove a lot of the restrictions for you. We include web, mobile, web, desktop, and mobile ads in every single campaign. And we also include the web and Facebook placement in every campaign. So the next slide here, this is kind of the who's who of big name sites. But one of the most popular questions is, well, where do they go? And the answer to that is yes, your ads will be seen on all the sites you see here, but it's also going to be targeting really just proven buyers with proven interest in your area and whatever sites they go to. So if there's a local news site that a lot of people in your market go to, if it has ad space, your ads will end up getting viewed on that site. And we do a lot of very specific real estate targeting. We are a real estate only company. So we customize all of our ad campaigns specifically to the industry, which allows us to maintain around 3 to 5 times higher click-through rates. Our efficiency in these is incredibly high. And we do so at a kind of far discounted rate compared to the industry average. Now, placement, once they're actually on the sites, at the top, you'll see that on the sample on the left. But we will only ever place your ads in the most highly visible locations, above the fold advertising, if you will. That means your ads will only be at the top of the page in the large right or left-hand sidebars or in the natural scroll of an article. So you never have to worry about your ads being buried or, at the bottom of the page or behind a click-through or anything like that. They're going to be front and center anytime a consumer visits the pages where they've been placed. On Facebook, they're going to show up right in the feed, and then you can also add Instagram. But with every one of these campaigns, we include Facebook advertising at no extra charge. So you don't have to worry about adding that on. It comes with it out of the box. The next question we usually get is on targeting. And by default, we do a 15-mile radius around the property, but you can change that. You can change the target area. You can pick 3 zip codes, or an entire city of interest. We don't restrict zip codes, so you're not fighting other agents for which ones you choose. The only reason we restrict it is honestly just so you don't dilute your advertising. If you were to go and try to run a campaign in 30 different zip codes, you're just not going to be able to hit a buyers multiple times. And for a listing campaign, your goal is really to get in front of any individual buyer 4 to 7 times. So they're going to say go to ESPN. They're going to see your ad. They're going to go to shop on Amazon and go to a Kohl's website, just kind of pulling examples up, and that ad's going to follow them. So they're going to see your ad on multiple sites, and the more they see it, the more likely they are to click on it, and then of course hopefully follow through to contact you or contact an agent to make a purchase or an offer, or you obviously just view the listing first and foremost. Pricing wise on Adtensify, on the listing campaigns, these start out at $59.99 for a week, and then you get discounts as you go further up. But the big thing to note here is once you get to any multi-week campaign, you automatically get an additional week free of charge. So a 2-week campaign is $118.99, and that actually is 3 weeks of advertising. So if you buy a 3-week campaign, you're actually getting 4, you get 5, so on and so forth. Now, those are all the listing campaign prices. We do have agent campaigns. I don't typically talk about them too much here in the presentation, just because they're kind of an extension of the listing campaign. The only big difference is A, the duration, and B, the targeting. We start the agent campaigns at a month. And the reason being, as I mentioned, that for a listing campaign, it typically takes around 4 to 5 times for someone viewing or seeing your ad to click on it. With agent campaigns, that number is a little bit higher. People are just less willing to click on pictures of an agent or an office logo, so on and so forth. With houses, if they're seeing a property, if it's a good photo of a listing, some of them might click on it the first time. The agent ads just take a little bit more, so we like to start those out at a month to make sure you're getting the benefit of running that campaign versus kind of trying one for a week where you can't really hit that audience. The agent campaigns, though, they start out at $199 a month, but you do get a discount down to $179.10 if you set that to automatically renew. So you have discounts built in. Now, the last thing on the Adtensify side is Adtensify Plus. So I mentioned that Facebook is automatically included in every campaign, but if you would like to expand on that, you can do so. You can double the weekly impressions on Facebook for $19.99 per week. And you can add that on to any campaign. And standard campaign will do about 1,000 impressions a week on Facebook alone. This will, again, double that. And the big benefit to Facebook, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, the audience is first and foremost 2 billion users, and they are online a ton. But it also has the highest click-through rate of any sites, any of the social media sites. It means people seeing the ad, way more likely to actually click on it. And that is tip of the cap to Facebook. They have done a great job of building a platform that is designed to get people to click on advertisements. The second side of Adtensify Plus is Instagram. Instagram's not included in the base campaign, but you can add it to any of your ad campaigns for $29.99 per week. It's just a little bit higher price because Instagram charges more for their ad placement. But again, this adds on average 1,000 views every week on Instagram. And the big benefit with it is that it's the #1 social network for products and services and the engagement. So 58 times more likely to get engagement with posts and ads on Instagram. And that means people are not just clicking on them and opening them, but they're liking, commenting, using emojis, sharing them, etc. And every time that happens, that again expands your market for you. So if a potential buyer clicks on it and shares, their network is going to start to see that post as well. So you're going to start to reach more and more people as they start to click on it and interact with that content. Last but not least, I just want to give you a look at what is coming soon. So the big thing that's rolling out is our all-new Revideo product. And it is a social media targeted listing video. In short, what this will give you the ability to do is to create the modern kind of mobile friendly, TikTok friendly video format. And that's kind of what you see here. And it lets you mix in photos that we pulled from the MLS or that you upload with videos. So if you have videos of the property that you've recorded or photographers recorded, you can upload those. You can mix and match them. You can add title slides, closing slides, text overlays, custom audio, and we will kind of put you on rails while you're doing it. So we will make sure that whichever social media sites you're targeting, at the end, you have a product that's going to match what that site is looking for. Duration, file formats, etc. Everything's going to be taken care of for you. And when you are done, you'll be able to download it to your phone or computer, or you can just click and share it directly to the social media site of your choosing. And I'm sure you all know, of course, TikTok has been massively in the news over the past week, but that is back up and running. And it is, now one of the most popular, if not the most popular social media sites in the United States. And this is a product really that allows you to fully take advantage of that usage, or whichever sites pop up next that use that format if it were to shut down. But the other sites are out there that still use this, that of course use these formats: Instagram, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, any Twitter videos. You'll be able to work on all of those sites with this video product. Now that essentially wraps up everything that I had to cover. We had a ton of questions come through. I hope I got to all of them. The main one on that pricing, I'm glad I wanted to get back to you just to reiterate that. For all Jersey MLS, that price point is $8.99 for the $8.99 monthly flat rate, or I say $98.89 for the year. That's for all of your listings with InstaView. And then you can still add on Neighborhood Insights or add Tensify as you see fit. But if you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to throw those in the Q&A section there, and I will get to those as quickly as I can. While we wait there, we do have a number of other webinars coming up. We will be doing this every month on the second Tuesday and the third Wednesday of each month. The second Tuesday are Tech Tuesday. Those are shorter sessions. Those are 15 to 20 minutes. And those will focus on individual topics. So this past month, or this month earlier, January, it was focused on social media syndication. So you can register for those using the same link that you registered for this session. And again, those will be recurring each month with varying topics. I think the next one that I will be on will be not February, but the following month. And that will be actually a special one with Local Logic, talking about Neighborhood Insights exclusively with a member of their team. So that'll be a good one to join. But I'm not seeing any other questions. If you do think of anything, you can contact our support customer service reps Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern. And you can do that on our website using our live chat, or you can send an email into support@propertypanorama.com, or you can reach us via phone at the number you see there on the screen. But thank you again for joining today. I really appreciate all of you for taking time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Property Panorama. And I look forward to seeing you on the future sessions.